Well, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I'm so glad that you have joined us today on the channel. What you're about to see is one of the most chaotic purchases of my life. For Magic the Gathering, we've got full, complete sets of the Dark and Ice Age and Gatecrash and Homelands. We've got a huge stack of Italian Legends. We've got sealed product all the way back to Ice Age and and Chronicles. And this collection, I'm going to deem this video as how not to sell me your collection because it's a complete mess. So I'm going to show you the footage of me going through and opening this collection. And I've gotten a lot of feedback that the videos are a little bit cutty, and while I'm going through the collection, it moves all over the place. So after those videos, we're going to go into looking at some of the stuff on the camera here. This is after I purchased the collection, so a little bit different way to do it. This is how not to sell me your collection, but if you do want to sell your collection, reach out to me at KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com. Hopefully you have a great day. Trying to protect names and email addresses. This is probably how not to ship a collection to me, though. I mean, it's just thrown in here. He did his best. He apologized a bunch of times in the notes. I get it. Not everybody's great at shipping or organizing. This guy actually did put things like, he told me what's in each box. There's 12 boxes, so that's helpful. But this is a good way for things to just get lost and mixed up. Probably need to work on like a how to send a collection to me type thing. Now this is much, much better. This is box 1, so maybe he just ran out of stuff as he was going through his collection. Organized, stuff like this. Very well organized, kind of what I can go through. Prefer things not being sleeves. It doesn't look like there's many sleeves. We'll organize that and take it out of the box and show you. Oof. These are opened Brothers War. Looks like the cards are in there and they just put them back in there. That's what's in here. Interesting bags of foils, rares, mythics. Respect your collections, guys. Credit where credit's due. He did wrap the sealed product very well. See a box of Dominaria, a couple decks in wrap. This looks like, ooh, this is an Ice Age box in there. It's pretty fun. Some random assorted cards. You can tell this is somebody who definitely loved the game and has been playing for a very long time. I'll open up this box of super old cards. You can tell it's somebody who's loved the game and has been playing for a super long time and maybe just isn't great at shipping. Avacyn Resort event deck, which is understandable. So I'm gonna organize everything and then here's a Gatecrash deck. I'll show you kind of everything that's there. Alright, so I've got this somewhat organized here. We got some cool boxes. The collection is really good. It's just kind of a mess, but it's alright. He knew that. So Ice Age box, Chronicles box, which is really cool. A 5th edition. I think those are 5th edition decks. And then we got the Dominaria box, which is cool. Really big fan of Dominaria for sure. Still have to go through this. I'm gonna assume most of this is gonna end up going through like the card sorter, bulk, that kind of thing. Some binders still need to go through, that kind of stuff. Take everything out. But that's kind of that stuff over here. We still have to go through all this. This was a box of Lord of the Rings set, which was, we found a one ring in that box of Lord of the Rings set. It was just kind of thrown in there. Some other stuff over here. Just some fat packs, some bulk, Dissension. These are his decks and his things like that. This is the mess box of rares and mythics we've got to go through. But then you have stuff like this. And this is a graded Italian Legends. I'm not sure if this is a full set. I have to go through this still. But it's Italian Legends, all graded by FCG, Forensic Card Grading. Never used them or heard of them. He said, I know that you don't buy cards, but this is reserve list and ban cards in here. So he says he spent $14 per card to grade those. So it'll be interesting to see about that. And then, then there's these, like in a Dark Art Waste grade. It's just a really random collection of things. These are not cards that I would grade, that kind of thing. But then really cool, you've got full sets of really cool stuff, and then a good stack of cards here that I'll kind of just thumb through. There's the One Ring I found. Strip Mine I found just randomly in a box. Some other good stuff. There was something else in here I wanted to, maybe not. Oh, the 7th edition Pyroclasm foil, Demonic Tutor, some good stuff just in the boxes, but then full sets. So you can tell he had organization, full sets of the Dark, of Ice Age, of Gatecrash, Chronicles, 5th edition. You've got Return to Ravnica, Hour of Devastation Partial, revised set that we're going to double check his dual lands. I guess let's throw the revised set here. Here's the revised set. Revised set, beautiful, great. I love seeing these types of things. You got the error cards, and all the way in the back, I think his dual lands. I haven't really looked at this yet. There's the Volcanic. Let's just check the Volcanic real quick. Let's pull it out and see what we think. Off the look, looks pretty clean. We're gonna have to run a loop off that. That looks pretty clean. So I'm not even going to need a loop. You can tell these are, the Volcanic's going to be fake. You can just tell the texture's not right. It's way too clean. I will run a loop on it before I reach out to him. But you can tell the texture is just not right there. The gloss isn't right. And then, you can just tell the cards are too clean. There's no way. The cards are too clean. And, we'll run a loop on it, but there's no way. Now, he did say, Louis, please check my dual lands. I picked them off, set off eBay. So, I mean, that's definitely something he clued me in on. You can see really cool stuff still. Complete set of the Dark. I think even had a booster pack in it. Really cool to see this. I hate these binders. Had a pack of the Dark here. I hate these binders. You can see a lot of the cards came out in shipping. So we'll check everything eventually. But yeah, this is certainly a collection. Some Amonkhet back there, and Fallen Empires. We'll get it all organized. This is amazing. These are opened ETBs. This guy really, really liked Brothers War, really liked Lord of the Rings. And look, these all have the pack in it that has the one ring. This is the pack that has the one ring. Just nothing else. Just I think all the cards that they open from the ETB, just ETB, I call them ETBs. The bundle, just thrown in here with $50 one ring. Like this box 4 has 2 Lord of the Rings set boxes, which are just opened, and then a box of mythic rares and foils ready, and some unused binders ready for this. This is how I received that. I mean, I guess.
2 days later.
All right, so let's go through the complete sets first. Obviously, the Dark is really cool. Ice Age is really cool up here, one of my favorite sets. And then some of the more, Dominaria, Dragon's Maze, Amonkhet, Hour of Devastation, Journey into Nyx, and Chronicles, Theros 5th edition, Return to Ravnica, Fallen Empires. Obviously, a lot of really cool ones. I want to talk about shipping again. Man, these binders that you're seeing here are terrible for shipping. These are horrible. The cards fall out of the top of them, and it creates a mess. And obviously, you have the rings. If you're ever going to be handling or shipping anything of the sort of that, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to take it out and to put it in a 5,000 count box. Put it in sleeves. This one's not sleeved, but put it in sleeves and put it in a 300 count box, not a 5,000 count box. That's the best way to ship that kind of stuff. Or if you're going to use binders, use these binders that are side loading. And this brings us up to the revised set. The revised set did have a lot of issues. The revised set was not complete. And all of the dual lands, as spoken about, were fake in the revised set, which is a really big bummer, both for me and for the person who was selling it. He bought these off of eBay, and he bought them a couple years ago as a full set. And they are very, very fake. You can see the glossiness. That's a telltale sign. Obviously, we put them under our jeweler's loop, the green dot test, but you could tell off the cuff that these were fake. Just the glossiness is not ready. So if we pull this up and compare it to a regular card, it's not even just that it's not played. It's just the gloss is completely different, which is a telltale sign that it is fake. And unfortunately, he had purchased all of the dual lands in one lot on eBay. And this was 2 years ago, before any authenticity guarantee or that kind of thing. And they were all just pretty good quality proxies, but very obvious for people who know what they're doing, know what they're looking at. So all the duels were fake, and then also like even the demonic tutor also fake. Bummer. There was another demonic tutor in the set, but the demonic tutor was fake, and both Wheel of Fortunes also not real. Too glossy, doesn't pass the dot test or the light test or any of the tests. These are just high quality fake cards, and even weirdly the copy artifact, which is not a super expensive card, but also a fake one. So the revised set was pretty much worthless because that's most of the value in revise. But I wanted to use the revised set as an opportunity to show you, like, this is another way to store your collection. Instead of using those old binders, get yourself some new binders that have, the side loading that can't come out. Even these are hard to ship. They're hard to ship. You can have some damage, but it's way better than a regular binder. 300 count box would be the preference if I were to sell this. Which I do sell this stuff. If anybody's looking for full sets, reach out to me. Happy to hook you up. On Discord is the best option. Join our Discord server at KitchenTableTCG.com and find me there, or reach out with an email, KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com. So revised set was pretty much pointless. But then 2 Dominaria sets, and Dominaria is a fantastic set. You can tell this guy really enjoyed classic Magic the Gathering and really enjoyed the old school Magic, because he really got into sets like Dominarium, really got into sets like Brothers War. You saw he had opened a ton of Brothers War looking for serialized. I actually reached out to him. He did not hit any serialized cards in Brothers War, which is a bummer because he opened up a ton of packs. He got really into Dominaria United and to regular Dominaria, so he had 2 full sets of Dominaria, which was pretty cool. And one of my favorite sets of all time. This is actually the set that got me kind of back into playing Magic as an adult. So I'm super stoked to have. I'll be able to keep one of the full sets for sure, and super stoked on that. So really cool Dominaria, and a really cool Dominaria binder too. Big fan of the set. Really cool stuff. All right, now let's get into. Let's see, some of the sealed products. So the sealed product, and then we're going to get into the slabs. We're going to have a whole conversation on graded cards and banned cards and the whole thing. We're going to have a whole conversation on that coming up in a second. But the sealed product, decent condition. The Ice Age box, the worst condition. Ice Age boxes have a history of being in bad condition. Every time I get an Ice Age box in, it's pretty beat up. So I'm not sure what we'll do with this. I already have an Ice Age box for my own collection. It's still sealed. It's still good to go. But I might end up breaking this up and selling loose packs, which is something that you can do. And you can still get most of the value out of it. It's kind of fun. People like to collect packs. That's kind of a cool thing. But Ice Age sealed box. God, I love this set. I always talk about how, on the back of the set, it doesn't say, oh, this is what's in the set, and this is, you can get this big chase card. Instead, it just, tells the story of the war between Urza and Mishra, and it's really cool. And I love the lore on Ice Age. I'm a big fan of the set. Love these long boxes from Mirage. Unfortunately, the Mirage set was also not complete, but the Mirage box is a really cool thing to get. Some old school deck boxes. I put these, I have a bathroom downstairs in my house, and it's like where we play Magic, so I call it my Magic bathroom, and I always put old school deck boxes and stuff on the wall on shelves. So these will go to the Magic bathroom, which is something I guess I'm saying on YouTube. And so that's Mirage, so that's cool. What else do we have here? Chronicles. Chronicles kind of worthless. There's nothing much in here, but sealed boxes still a good chunk of value. This one, not in the best of condition, but it's still sealed. Still cool. Obviously, a great way to enjoy some of those old sets. But obviously, the history here of reprints and breaking what kind of the promise, and a big bummer for a lot of people. But Chronicles, I don't have a Chronicles box, so that's nice. All right, let's get on to the cool. Oh, I want to look at the dark. This is the dark set. We're gonna pivot back because, man, the dark is such a cool set, and so many cards, so many cool things. I actually have a box of the dark that I've wanted to do a box break on, and either give open the packs. Oh, this is an open pack. I thought it was sealed. Either open the packs or have a a thing where we grade the pack for you, or you get a sealed pack. But we might do that. I do have a box of the Dark that I want to do that with. But man, is the Dark a cool set. We're going to do this way so I don't ruin the cards. There's just so many iconic and cool cards in this set. And it is just beautiful. Apprentice Wizard, Ashes to Ashes, Ball Lightning, Banshee. This might be one that I keep a set of. It's hard to, I gotta watch myself, buying all these collections. It's really easy to want to just keep everything and collect everything. And you guys know me, I am a collector at heart. So there's a desire of me to just keep and collect everything. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. I do have to sell and run a business and move things and do things at this point in my business. But man, a set like this, it's just so cool. The art is so good. The cards are just like, they're just different. They just hit different. It feels like a completely different game than the Lord of the Rings, Magic the Gathering we have today, with all the different sets with Fallout and all the different things. It just feels like a completely different game. And I love the old school vibe and feel of the Dark. It's one of my favorite sets. This and Ice Age are, man, just super, super cool, in my opinion. Things that I absolutely love. All right, we'll wrap up because we have other cards to look at in this video too. There's Frankenstein's Monster. God, the artwork is just so cool. Gaia's Touch, Ghost Ship, Flood, Fissure. The art is just so cool. And it just reminds you of what used to be for Magic the Gathering in terms of just art that was, different and unique and special, mixed with lore and flavor that felt, Dungeons and Dragons-esque, and just really cool. So, all right, now let's get into one of the hardest parts of this collection, and that is this giant stack of slabs. Now, this giant stack of slabs is mostly, this one's the Dark, but mostly Italian legends. And man, a bunch of cards that just don't have a ton of value, graded by a company that I don't know anything about or recognize as like a company that would have any extra value. So this whole stack here are cards that I would say are almost impossible, about 200 cards, very difficult to value, especially graded, and to give any real premium or anything like that. Then this stack of cards are the slab cards he had that I would say, you do see significant value with, even in the Italian, the Italian versions and that kind of thing. So we're going to go through that a little bit. First and foremost, in my opinion, you should not grade with any company that is not that is not PSA or BGS. CGC is okay, but I would not grade anything with anything other than PSA or BGS. And frankly, PSA is holding up. In my opinion, I have done a lot of BGS for Magic and for Sorcery. But in my opinion, PSA is really starting to take the cake on everything. So I would not grade with any other company. It's just, man, as a buyer, as a seller, it just doesn't hold any premium to be graded by forensic card grading. Now, unless you are keeping this for your own personal collection and you just, it's cheaper and whatever, that's fine. But if you have any plans of selling ever, I would not grade with anything that's not PSA or BGS. So let's get into, and I've talked about that in some other videos, but we can get into it a little bit. Let's get into what the values are, not specific values, but the cards that see play are cards that hold, that Underworld Dreams and Italian Legends. There is still value. Even though it's an Italian Legends card, not a regular Legends card, there's still value in these. That's different from the stack of cards over there. The stack of cards over there, man, they're just like bulk $1 cards, $2 cards. There's just not a ton of value in the collection over on that side. But on this side, you do have some of the really cool stuff that I think was worth picking up and worth buying cards in the collection, and even some non-Italian ones, like a regular Underworld Dreams. Legends is just such a fun set. There's a lot of people who collect Legends There's a lot of people who are going for the full set. Obviously, you have the band cards here, which, you know, say what you will about them, but in a collection this big, I pick up pretty much everything. And there is a market for people who want to, again, complete the set, and this card was part of the set. You know, so that's kind of weird that these values go up because people can't get them on the marketplace. And so the values go up on them because they have to buy them in private sales and that kind of stuff. And so in a big collection like this, I always pick up everything. Again, this is another card that really, really cool card, awesome card, expensive, even in the Italian Legends version. All Hallowed Eve. This is a card that sees a lot of play in CEDH, and you can play with the Italian Legends version. So a lot of these will potentially end up getting sold to, you know, if I can find somebody who is interested in a, you know, half a collection, almost half of the cards from Italian Legends, that might happen. But you may see these get cracked open and just sold to people who want to put these in decks, and that might happen for a collection like this as well. Because the number of people who want graded Magic cards is very small. And then you have an even smaller number of people who want graded Italian Legends graded by forensic card grading. So you're minimizing the amount of people who can pick up a collection like this. But it is really cool to look at the art and to see just one of the coolest sets in all of Magic history. Italian Legends or whatever. There's the Sylvan Library. There's a couple Sylvan Libraries in here. We'll get to the English. There's the other Sylvan Library. We'll get to the English stuff here in a second. Wanted to wrap through the Dark, the Maze of Ith here. Wanted to wrap through all the Acid Rain. These are the graded ones. Let's stick those here. Again, cards that you can't really pick up anywhere. That happens. I think that is most of the ones that were kind of higher value for the Italian Legends stuff. So Italian Legends is a really weird one, but it's something that in the bigger size of this collection, I was able to work out a deal and pick up. And again, if anybody is interested in big stacks of Italian Legends graded cards, I'm sure we could work something out if that interests you. Now let's get into grading modern Magic cards, which is wild to me. I did not value these at anything over the raw value. Grading modern Magic is not the same as grading Pokemon. Now, serialized cards is the difference. Serialized cards seem to have a premium for a decent grade and a market for a decent grade. You may see a premium, not in Forensic Card Grading 9, but in a PSA 10, you might see a premium in something like the invocations here. But really for grading, I just don't recommend it. Most people want to put this card in a commander deck and flex on their friends. And that is what modern Magic collecting looks like, as opposed to Pokemon, where you want to put the card on a shelf. In Magic, everybody's wanting to put it in their commander deck. So something like this invocation will probably just get cracked open. We'll crack the slab open, we'll list the single card, and we'll move on from that. Same thing with Sheoldred here. I mean, it's a cool card. I get it. I understand. But I don't think that there's a market for anybody picking up a 9 graded. Even if this was a 10 in FCG, maybe a PSA 10 has some premium, but not really. The market's just not going to be there, in my opinion. The One Ring, there was a bunch of those. He actually had the full set of this graded, which is kind of cool. But again, no premium. And then, $20 Liliana is not gonna see much graded. So don't grade your modern Magic cards unless you get serialized, in my opinion. And then, we got some more Italian Legends. Let's just show those off. There's land tax there too. More Italian Legends, another band card, and Living Plane, another card that sees, I think, some play, maybe in, one of the formats. Okay, so now we get into the cost of grading, because what he told me, he paid $14 a card to grade these. And that is, listen, again, I think what he was going for, and I don't want to criticize this guy too much. He did say he has a good sense of humor. He said I could talk about it a little bit. I think that the goal for him was to have a full set that he was going to collect and have a full set of Italian Legends. That would have been really, really cool. And honestly, that would have been a lot easier for me to pick up and buy, to justify if it was a full set graded. Again, I don't like the grading company, but the person buying it then at least doesn't have to grade the rest of the set with a company they don't like and pay the $14 per card. But when you're grading, dollar cards, maybe dollar cards here, maybe a couple, there's a couple in here that may have snuck through that are $5 to $10, that kind of thing. When you're grading, cards that are under $10 and you're spending $14 to grade them, that's just not a good principle. Now these higher end ones, if you're grading them with a different company, it might make sense. But the cost of grading, you have to weigh the cost of the card and the multiplier that you could get from them. Multiplying one, a 2x of one is $2. And if it costs you $14 to grade the card, it wasn't worth it. And this is where we get into graded autographed cards. Because I think he said he spent like $1,000 to get the stack of BGS cards graded. And again, like some of them are cool. Like this Dark Ritual. This is a cool card. All right, this is a beta Dark Ritual, 8.5 beta Dark Ritual. This is probably $120 card, $150 card. I don't remember off the top of my head what we valued it. But then autographed, and this is a cool card that does have a market. There is somebody who loves this artwork, who loves this artist, who will pick this up on eBay, who will pick this card up. This is in my opinion, a worthwhile thing to get graded and to have on your wall in your collection. If you love it, I think it's worth it, to grade and to authenticate. But man, the cost of grading doesn't always make it sense. And there's other cards that are just not, like I think Eye for an Eye, isn't this like $1 card or something like that? And so getting it graded and autographed and spending $150 to have the whole thing encapsulated with a grade and everything, it's just not, unless you're just keeping it forever, you're not going to get the value back out of it. And so it was hard to work out the values on this stuff. Again, I think it worked out because it was such a large collection purchase. There was room on both of my side and his side, but still, it's just kind of a bummer to see people feel like they wasted money on something that they definitely love. This is a cool one. Legends Infernal Medusa. I've never noticed the bottom of a Legends card so close to the artist name there. Again, just more of the same here, but a card that just doesn't have much value outside of the grade and the autograph, and you spend a lot of money to get it graded and autographed, you're kind of ruining your potential there. Now, if you just want to have it, that's cool, but don't expect to get value out of something just because you spent the money on getting it graded. Here's a beta tunnel. Really cool. Again, there are people who love Dan Frazier and will want this card. You know what I mean? I just don't think they want to pay a 5,000% increase in the value to make it worth it. But that's my spiel on grading and the cards we got here. There's 4 more. Lightning Angel. I like the autograph by RK Post. It's kind of a cool little autograph. Another beta from Jeff Menges, the Bog Wraith. Really cool stuff. And then another Legends Underworld Dreams. And then here's another one. I've never seen this grading company. Elite Card Grading. Do not grade your cards with Elite Card Grading, everybody. There's a Therese Nielsen, though, autograph. Maybe that's why they weren't allowed to grade it somewhere else. Yeah, it's just a really cool collection. I'm glad that I got to pick it up. I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. I think there's just some really cool cards to look at and to share with you, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. But if you do want to sell your collection, reach out to me at KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com. Just make sure when you're shipping things, you do it in a way, and this goes across the board, whether you're shipping things to me or you're selling stuff on your own, which I always encourage you that you do. Ship it in a way that gives value to the person opening it. Apple does this, right? When you open up your new iPhone or your new MacBook Pro, it shows that they value the item that you purchased. And the same way when I'm buying a collection, when I open up a box and you know, I know this guy loved his collection because you can see it once you get into it. Once you dig into the collection, once you see the binders that are, you know, meticulously organized, and once you see it, you know that you value the collection. I'm not saying that he didn't value the collection, but the way that it was shipped, when I initially opened it, I was like, what is this? There were strip mines that had fallen out of boxes that were just loose in the bubble packing and that kind of stuff. And so I jokingly tease this as like how to not send your collection. But across the board, if you want to learn something from this video, if you take value in the way that you ship things and the way you send things, people will reciprocate that on the back end. They will appreciate that, and they're more likely to, you know, buy from you again or give you a better deal or whatever it ends up being if their work on the back end is more organized and because of the way that you ship something or handled something. So a lot of that is on me too. I'm going to put together a better way. One of the things I'm learning, I'm going to put together a better way of like how to send in your collection to me, because we are getting 4 or 5, it seems like 4 or 5 collections a week right now, and then I kind of pick and choose the ones I want to share with you guys. But I'm gonna put together like a thing like, this is how to best ship me your collection, how to best bring it in, how to best get it to me. So that'll be helpful. So I learned a lot too. All right, I hope you have yourself a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. Join the Discord server. Go to KitchenTableTCG.com. Click on the YouTube Discord channel. Reach out to me if there's anything you ever see in videos that you want to pick up. I'm happy to work it out with you. I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. We'll see you again next video.